Over the holidays, I ordered a Diet Coke, and my brother-in-law looked at me in astonishment, saying, "Wow, you drink Diet Coke?" However, if I was to order a glass of wine or a tequila soda, my same brother-in-law wouldn't have had that same reaction. Matter of fact, when I stopped drinking one year, he would ask me if I was pregnant all the time, if that was why I wasn't drinking. Sometimes the people around us don't or can't understand why we're choosing a certain path. And it's not up to us to explain why we're doing the things that we're doing. What's really important right now is to create an intrinsic motivation. What do I mean by that? I mean, really narrow down what outcomes that you're looking for. It's so easy right now to get lost. I coach women online and they're listening to Huberman podcasts, listening to Mark Hyman, they're listening to many different frames of thought, which is great, but they're getting confused and it's throwing them off and it's giving them every excuse in the book to not be consistent with one thing, to follow one protocol for long enough, which there's a period of time, there's a 4 to 6 window that you need to follow something a lot of the times for it to show its effect. There's other protocols that take 3 days and 10 days. Okay. But on average, about 4 to 6 weeks. And this is purely neurological. That is when your nervous system begins to accept a new behavior, a new change, and you begin to integrate it into your biophysiology. Many women that I work with are not doing this because they are on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they are on whatever news that they get when they open Google or Safari and they're getting their emails. And so part of my job as their coach is to remind them of the outcome that they want and that it's a specific outcome, which then determines a specific path. Also, the other avenues that they're using in life, whether they're working, whether they have a cohabitant, whether that's a kid or a spouse that they're living with, that also need to be integrated into this picture. Because if you're living with someone, you also need to recognize that there's going to be mental, psychological, and even physical barriers that may bring you resistance when you're trying to make a change for a healthier metabolism and a healthier mood. And so, one of the key things that I want to mention here that the women I work with are working on is creating and staying with this desired outcome. And they use something called visualization and NLP techniques to really anchor themselves in the state that they deserve to feel, which is joy and satisfaction. And then create an image, whether that's through the visualization in their mind. What's helpful is to create vision boards or use a clothing piece that they want to wear or be able to look a certain way into the future. Vanity is a huge motivator, but what they're doing is they're creating or anchoring in a true state of joy and satisfaction and then creating the image. So instead of having the image and being empty or void of the emotion which drives us intrinsically to want to be that image of looking good, feeling good, wearing that sexy dress with the heels or wearing the bikini at the beach, there's also a feeling associated with that. There's confidence, there's radiance, there's all of the things that you can do that brings. That is where we need to be attaching ourselves to. And when we aren't attaching ourselves, or if we think that we don't deserve those things, then we can get swayed and lost. So it's called anchoring for a reason, because if you've ever seen an anchor, it has these two hooks. When you put an anchor down, you drop it down, it actually gets pulled backwards to make sure that it's latched into the ground, either whether it's on a rock, definitely not coral, hopefully, but we want to be on a rock or in sand. It's embedded, it's got its teeth ripped inside in something, and it's anchored in something. So I'm not talking about putting a cinder block down into the water. I'm talking about anchoring into that state. And it takes work. It's much easier for our reptilian brain to get distracted by everything in the world. And that is why we can't get to where we want to be. But to every day lay down that anchor and hook our teeth into it and believe that we deserve to be there, that is so foundational to any transformational change. And this is the types of things that I teach my clients. There's also biophysiology that helps you anchor into that state. Some people can't go there when I first start working with them. They cannot bring their minds to this state of joy because they don't see themselves as worthy. And it takes time and time of strengthening that. And it starts also with the words that they speak to themselves in their brains, the affirmative language. Right now, speaking in I can, I am beautiful, I am worthy to have this thing, and then taking action from that place of knowing that you're worthy. I read an article when I was trying to lose weight in my 20s. This is when I smoked cigarettes. I was, a recovering heroin addict, and had gained a bunch of weight because I said, you know what? It's okay as long as I stay clean. It's okay. I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat. I'm going to have what I'm going to have. And I read an article that really set me on my journey of weight loss. Now, this is many years ago, but one of the most foundational things was to love myself as I was, that I could not launch myself forward to become something different until I loved myself where I was right now. And there's a physiological reaction when you do that. Your body feels at ease, your heart begins to beat better, and you have more strength when you're exercising. So there's a lot of things that can be done with our minds even before we start to take action. But we need to take action from these places, not a place of lack that I don't have this thing that I want to be like that person. No, take the time now to sit down, breathe a 5, 7, 8 breath. What does that mean? That means breathing in for 5. Do it now, in through your nose, holding your breath, relaxing your tongue, your shoulders, but still holding the breath with that perineum. And then exhaling slowly for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Exhale all the way, pull the belly in, let the shoulders drop, the face relax. Get really good at that. It takes work. 5 in, 7 hold, 8 out. That's where the visualization starts with your ability to switch out of the state that you're in into a different state, a theta wave state, parasympathetic state. That's where it starts. You want to go somewhere different? Learn how to switch into the place that takes you somewhere different. Learn how to get into the car before you drive the car, before you put your foot on the gas. So you can make sure that you're ready to navigate the wheel and be able to look into the rearview mirror so you don't get into an accident. That is key. Start at the beginning. Many people right now are trying to do so many things. They stop in the middle, they want to go right to the end. What's key is the preparation. That's all that there is. If you keep preparing to get into the car, by the time you step in, you're going to be in a rocket ship and you're just going to soar. Start with the 5, 7, 8 breath. That's something tangible that you can hold on to. And in the future videos, I'm going to list a little bit more what you can do to visualize. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, 5, 7, 8. If there's anything that you can take away from this, is learning how to switch out of a stress state. You don't know if you're in a stress state until you're switched out of it. So just practice that 5, 7, 8 breath and let me know how it goes in the comments, and I'll see you in the future videos.